Hello and welcome to Computer Retro Bus. In this episode, we're going to look at a video card that's pretty uncommon, a vintage card, which I recently ran across, the Nvidia Quadro 2 MXR. I'd never heard about this card till very recently. So in this episode, we'll talk about Quadro cards, talk about the chips that go in them, the whole binning process, and why they're actually great quality. If you see one, pick one up. Now, I actually do have a GeForce 2 Quadro Pro, and that is a beast of a card. But we're going to look at that in another episode. I'm looking at doing a whole series on Quadro cards because I've got so many of these things. You run across them a lot. They're obviously workstation cards, so a lot of workplaces had them, and now they get rid of them. They get rid of them for cheap. You can get them for a great price. And Quadro cards are really good. They're very stable, rock solid, and there's a good reason for that. They are made for workstations to not fail. And some of the silicon in them is the best quality silicon of its family. So this is what we're looking at. And you know, while Quadro cards, yes, they are made for workstations, you can definitely game on them. The Quadro drivers are made more for stability rather than performance, but they still do perform. In fact, I use a Quadro card in my main gaming computer for quite a few years. I was running a bit difficult times in financially, and I ended up getting hold of a Quadro card that my old workplace was getting rid of. I said, yeah, I'll plug it in. And I plugged it in, and you know what? It ran all the games that I needed to play perfectly fine. So I used that thing for years. Obviously, if you're going out to buy a new card, you would never buy a Quadro card over a GeForce because they are, much, much more expensive. But in the secondhand market, they can be had for a steal.
Silicon chips are made in wafers. Now, not every chip is going to be perfect. There's going to be imperfections. So what they use is what's called a binning process. This is where you get your range of chips in the same core. For example, GeForce 2 GTS all the way up to the GeForce 2 Ultra. So all these chips are made on the same silicon wafer. Then they are tested and binned according to their performance and quality. So the highest quality ones will go into the higher clock chips, and the lower ones will go into the cheaper ones. Quadro chips are the highest quality chips on the silicon wafer because they're going into workstation cards for customers that are going to pay an absolute premium. The Quadro 2 MXR comes with 32 megabytes of memory on a 128-bit bus, and it uses the NV11 core, which is the same core on the GeForce 2 MX. Now, looking at the core and memory, it's pretty much the same as the MX, especially on this model. So 175 MHz core and 166 MHz memory. But this came at a launch price of $350, same price as the GeForce 2 GTS. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. There's no way you would buy this for gaming, especially because it uses, as I said, the GeForce 2 MX core, and the GeForce 2 MX was $175. I am going to overclock this card though to see how much performance we can squeeze out of it. So this is in pretty good condition. Look at it. It's barely got any dust, so I don't really need to dust it off or anything. It's looking really good. What I am going to do though is put a heatsink on it. It doesn't come with one. It has got the point to put one on. But I did a review recently on the GeForce 2 MX, and this didn't have a heatsink either. A lot of these OEM cards don't. This is a Dell OEM. I did put a heatsink on for the review, and it got really hot, which made me concerned. I'm like, why didn't this thing come with a heatsink? So what I'm going to do is get a heatsink on this one for the review also, especially because I am planning to overclock it. So yeah, back to this janky old thing. This is really made for chipset cooling, to be honest, but it will do the job. It's passive. It's got a nice big thermal pad on it, so I'll just use that rather than getting it messy with some thermal grease, especially because it is temporary. Okay, I got them lined up, punch them through. Come on, buddy. Come on. There we go. All right. Look at that. Yeah, no neighbors. All right. You know what? It'll do what we need it to do. Okay, so I've loaded the drivers and the Coolbits registry hack, so that will allow us to see the clock frequencies and also to overclock. So the standard clocks here are 175, 166, same as the GeForce 2 MX standard. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll run 3D Mark 2000 on the standard clocks, and let's see what we get. So the score we have is 4,454, which is actually pretty damn good. When I ran this on the GeForce 2 MX, I got 4,250. So even at the standard clocks, which are the same, this card performs much better. Let's give it a bit more gas. I'm back in the overclocking tab now, and I've cranked it up to the maximum it will go. So 220 for the core and 210 for the memory. And you know what? It is rock solid. So let's give it a go and see how we go. I'm going to run all of my games set at these frequencies. Running 3D Mark 2000 overclocked got us a score of 4,977. That is actually pretty damn good. That's 12% increase. What an overclock. Now, let's get on to some games. Okay, let's have a look at this Unreal fly-through. 1024, 768. There we go. Oh, frame rate. It's really starting to climb as we go through. Oh my god. So yeah, look at this. Hitting the hundreds. This is pretty damn impressive. Fog is looking pretty good. Look at that. A little bit of jitteriness down here, but it always does when you're going through the fog. Looking very good. Nice sharp image. Great colors. Look at that frame rate. My god, it has hit 100 a couple of times. Yeah, looking excellent. Really rendering this beautifully. Looking really great. This is where you usually get the lowest frame rates, when you get the whole castle in the shot. And you know, still staying in the high 20s. Yeah, look at this. The polished floor. The reflection looks fantastic. Okay, Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed. Released year 2000. Same as this card. Alrighty, let's choose ourselves a car. Let's go there. We've got to go the GT3, right? Come on. We'll go to the Côte d'Azur. This is a great game. Look at these frame rates. Wow. You know, it was great to change it up and not have a circuit that you went around in circles. Rather, you had a nice drive like this one. You know, driving down the Côte d'Azur. These frame rates are fantastic. Look at these 30s, 40s. This looks so good. Looking at that great sunset or sunrise, I'm not sure. Let's see if we can change the view. There we go. All right, let's have a look at the car. See if that's going to challenge the frame rate. Doesn't appear to be. Okay, so we were 640 by 480 on that one. Let's see if let's go. You know what? Let's try 800 by 600 and see how we go with that. Okay, here we are at 800 by 600. Graphics look way sharper. It definitely looks so much better. I mean, year 2000, 30 frame rate in a 3D game was, you know, very respectable. Very respectable. Yeah, it's pretty... This is a great game. It really was. You know, love the little details. You know, whatever your player name was, that's what your number plate was. You know, private plates. Yeah, going up to 800 by 600 really hasn't punished it much at all. It's hanging in there very well. I'd definitely be playing it at this resolution. Look at this, 50s as well. Looking really good. All right. You know, I can't resist. Let's see. Let's see how it goes. It really did handle 800 by 600 so well that I have to try that next level. This, wow. It doesn't seem to be affecting the frame rate whatsoever. I've just been bumping up that resolution every time. The frame rate is staying very much the same. This is awesome. And you know what? At 1024 by 768, it really does look absolutely glorious. My driving. Oh, nice. Back on the control. No, not on the control. But yeah, look how much sharper it is. Oh, this is really surprising me that putting up the resolution is not punishing the frame rate much at all, if at all. It looks so good. So good. That extra sharpness just makes all the difference. You know, I would be very proud of these sorts of frame rates on this game and be showing it off to my friends, that's for sure. This card is really surprising me, I must say. I was not expecting much at all because of its GeForce 2 MX heritage. But once it is overclocked, and it is aggressively overclocked, it is keeping up very well for games in its own era. It's doing very well. Okay, let's play some Return to Castle Wolfenstein. So I've got the resolution at 1024 by 768, my favorite resolution. Wow, look at these frame rates. 90. Wow, this is pretty damn good. It is a very basic geometry though, hallway, so we'll see how we go once we get a bit more action in here. Okay, it's dropped a bit, but not too bad. Not too bad at all. Whoa, it is very nice and snappy. Yeah, still very good, still very manageable. This is great frame rates. Yeah, I remember when this game came out, it was a blockbuster. Fantastic game, still to today. And these sort of frame rates, you'd be very happy. Alright, here we go. Got the cable car coming. See if I can get a hand grenade lobbed in there. Tell you what, it's gonna be a tough one. Come on, can I do it? That was way off. Come on. Oh, that one go in? Oh, yes, it did. Yes, what a shot. All right. Yeah, this is a classic level. Oh, well, enough of that, but pretty good. Pretty impressive for an MX-based card. Okay, let's play some Max Payne, released in 2001, a year after this card. All right, looking pretty good. Look at these frame rates. This is pretty damn good for an MX-based card. I mean, this is overclocked. There we go. Yeah, this is fantastic frame rates. Look at that. All right, let's get a shotgun and have some fun. So yeah, it'll be interesting once we jump this wall. Oh wow, 70s. Oh my. I mean, look, this is simple. It's just rendering a wall, really. Once we jump this fence, that's when we'll see some more realistic frame rates with some characters, cars, all that sort of stuff. Here we go. Yep. 30s are pretty damn solid. Yeah, this looks great. Nice and sharp. Let's dispense some enemies. Oh, here we go. No, now the frame rate's suffering. Oh, into the 20s. Oh, but it looks great. Looks great. Look, to me, you know, these retro games, mid-20s and onwards is pretty playable. That's what we were playing with. That's what we had to work with back then. So if you want the genuine experience, this is what it is, my friends. Yes, that's it. Okay, let's try the sniper rifle. And we go, oh yeah, look, we're really dropping now. Look, we've got a lot of things on the screen. Looking at 17, 15 frames per second, and it's not good, is it? It really does start to suffer once we get a lot of objects on the screen. Okay, so we're moving to 2002. 2 years after this card was released, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 was released. So let's see how we go. I think this is going to be tough. Actually, I've dropped it down to 640 by 480, I believe. Okay, so the frame rates are, as expected, not the greatest. Look at this. This is very similar to the performance I was getting with my GeForce 2 MX. Hardly surprising. The overclock, I'm not sure if it's helped it much, but here we go. It's bumping up. Now, initially it starts at 9 to 10 frames. What I'm going to do is let these guys go. I'll hit the brakes. All right, let's see if there's less models on the screen, if it's going to give me a bit more better frame rates. It appears to be doing exactly that. Okay, it's not too bad. Not too bad. Input feels a bit sluggish, but the frame rate isn't the worst. These are great little tracks here. Lots of different ways you could take the track, which was really lots of fun. So this game was a big leap in graphics for the Need for Speed franchise. It really bumped it up after Need for Speed Porsche. But as the bumping graphics comes up, obviously the requirements on the hardware go up as well. Yeah, this is not terrible actually. I was expecting much worse. This one did surprise me. It is definitely performing better than the GeForce 2 MX. These frame rates are marginally better. Nothing radical, but you can definitely feel it, when when the frame rate's this low, extra 2-3 frames do make a difference. Okay, Unreal Tournament 2003. Let's do it. It's Unreal Tournament 2003. This was actually released in 2002, September 2002. All right, so we are running at 800 by 600 resolution. Texture detail is absolute rock bottom, as we can see. Frame rates aren't terrible. This is not too bad. It's playable. Doesn't look great, but is running it fine. I have seen this map look much better, but the frame rate's actually pretty damn good. Look, this map is much kinder, I think, because it's all closed spaces, so nothing too big, not too many things to render at once. But yeah, details have to be cranked right down to get these sorts of frame rates. Oh, 40s, 50s. This is not too bad at all. Look at that. Yeah. Look, yeah, let's try a map with bigger, wider open spaces. Let's see how it goes on that. Oh yeah, now we're starting to see. Oh, now we're starting to see some struggles. Yeah, look at this. When there's a lot of objects to render, it definitely struggles. When I'm looking at things that just don't have too much to render, it looks okay. But as soon as I look at the larger map, I start getting some serious frame punishment. And aim. Oh yeah, this is really difficult. No, you would not be competitive with these sorts of frame rates. Look at it, 15. Oh, sub 20. It really does get hard. Lucky these bots are not very good. They make him look better than I am. Oh. In 2000s, 2 years was a very long time. You would definitely have upgraded, especially when you have a more budget-orientated card, which is what this card's core is based off, a budget core. I'm sure if you had a GeForce 2 GTS or Ultra, it would handle it much better than this. All right, enough of that one. There we go.
So there we have it, the Quadro 2 MXR, one of the slowest Quadro cards ever made. Would you grab one? If you saw one, it's an interesting card. You probably would grab one because it's great for the collection. Great alternative for a GeForce 2 MX if, God forbid, you can't find one. GeForce 2 MXs are pretty easy to find. GeForce 4 MXs especially are everywhere. But for an easy GeForce 2 card, yeah, it does the job. So you can really see that the Quadro chips were high quality. They were selected for their performance and reliability. So because these Quadros are easy to find, I do have quite a lot in my collection. I'm going to go through a series and start reviewing them all. This next one I'm going to do is a Quadro 2 Pro. So this is an awesome card. Looks very similar to a GeForce 2 Ultra. So we'll see how it performs. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to support my channel, there are links in the description. Thank you to everybody that does. I really, really do appreciate it. Hope to see you in the next one.